Hello, hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. That was a fun movie, wasn't it? Before either of you know it, the credits roll, and Asterion's grip turns vice-like as the sudden light shatters the dreamy atmosphere. As everyone knows, pre wait premarital holding is a sin, and you've almost certainly been caught red-handed. You brace yourself for the merciless round of ribbing to erupt, only for a different sound to cut the silence. Luke is bawling his eyes out. He even pulls out a white handkerchief from his pocket, using it to dry his tears before loudly blowing his non existent nose into it. From what you can gather through the unintelligible bird noises, he's been tearing up for the entirety of the third act, and the gentle comedy's culmination in the deep, quiet tragedy of everyday life sent him careening over the edge of composure. Though your discreet dalliance, I don't know this word, with Asterion kept you from absorbing much of the text, it seems Luke's sensitive side has come out in full force, to everyone's apparent shock. Eventually, Kato rises to his feet and attempts to comfort the sobbing griffin, only to wince in discomfort as Luke draws him into a back-breaking hug. The all-American himbo has no qualms about burying his beak into the dragon's robe while he vents tears, snot, and frustration with the film all the while. Over the griffin's shoulder, Kota looks you in the eye, starting to motion for help, but the words die when his gaze drops downward. The sight of your finger, still interlaced with Asterion's, resigns himself to his fate. He waves you off with a flick of his wrist and leans into the hug. Oh, what if I want to talk to Luke about the movie? The journey back to your quarters, however, numerous the flights of stairs between you and your goal, passes peacefully. And in the silence of the hotel's empty halls, the subtle rhythm of your courtship reasserts itself. The music swells, vivance, heartbeat, and I don't know for the words, footsteps, and the occasional squeeze of the hand mark your passage as you loop off together into the night. And the night alone bears witness to these two souls. It just ain't right. Noriko's paw cuts her out of his life, like it wasn't nothing at all.
There comes a time for every parent when they have to let their children go. He made the right choice to let his daughter live rather than allow her to sacrifice her best years for his sake.
Wait, malarkey! Talk about high-minded horseshit like the order of human history, if you want. But how is wanting to make your folks are taken care of selfish? Wanting to make sure your folks are taken care of, okay. And Noriko's whole marriage is built around that lie, that her dad's gonna be okay without her. Ain't no way she's going to be happy, no matter how good a man her new husband is. If she finds out she was tricked into being where she's at.
The alternative would have been just as tragic. If they'd both stayed as they were, she'd have taken care of her father until she died. And then what? She would have woken up one day, middle-aged, childless, unmarried, and with no prospect in life.
Okay. And no reason she couldn't have been happy if they both just stuck to their guns at the outset, instead of lying to each other. Bleaker? Bleaker the more I think about it. They both don't want her to get hitched, but everyone's pressuring them both into getting everything up just 'cause society thinks it ain't right for a woman her age to be single. There ain't no way to that ain't no way to live, but miserable for everyone else, instead of happy for yourself.
Now come on, it's not as bad as all that, is it?
Really? You mean to tell me you ain't never had anyone or anything you cared about more in what other people thought about you, and nobody you'd stand with, even if the whole world was against you? The dragon flicked and then went limp in Luke's grasp, as though the griffin's words had crushed the life out of him. He seemed to shrink into himself, however brief, and Luke took notice, slowing his mad rant to a crawl. Through the veil of his tears, the eagle's brow furrowed in concern, before a more familiar look of blithe jackassery overtook him. Jesus, Kota, I'm sorry. Really, I am. I had no idea things were so awful back home. No wonder the suicide rate's through the roof and nobody wants to fuck. Y'all aren't, got nothing to live for.
Excuse me.
Oh, I love Luke. He's great. As he waits for his king of kings to finish preparations for the day, the Minotaur sits at the dining room table. He hums a string of songs as he gazes his hooves over the floor, tracing the seams between the wooden tiles. On the table is a wooden fruit bowl. He runs a finger over its rim, smooth within a matte finish, even ever so lightly, speeding up the movement until the bowl spins. The Minotaur had summoned the wood, and his mind's eye had chiseled it from its brutish shape. Mr. Josh, meanwhile, had filled it with fruit, ripe red apples, bountiful bananas, perfect pears, bunches of grapes overflowing like a maiden's hair. A sight to behold, both in appearance and in fullness. It wobbles as the Minotaur spins it, but not so much as to tumble. He swipes it in his hand, pushing the bowl to a yet greater speed, but it does not lose its balance, and neither does its grapes launch off in a tangent. Asterion flicks his ears and giggles. What a fine fruit bowl, a fitting centerpiece for their dinner room. To spin forevermore and yet never tumble down. You witness it all from the other side of the room as you go over your notes and today's activities. You look down to your coffee mug. It's painted with a smiling bunch of grapes, and needless to say, the coffee is delicious. Asterion, without a care in the world, goes from humming to whispering verses.
The Lord of Hosts, the old cloud gatherer, makes jolly your home. Make some decisions just. Your simple act is prayers to Zeus. My lord, each action weighed and balanced, rightly so.
Someone's happy today. Is that one of your old poems? Asterion flicks his ears with all the crisp. Chirpiness of a hummingbird flapping its wings.
A poem, yes, but not old. It came to me just now. Today the muses are generous, and blessings swell my chest. I already found threads from half a dozen poems more. It'll take some time to work to write them down.
Lovely. If you want someone to read them over when you do, then I'd be willing and ready to help.
Always so kind. I would appreciate it, my good lord.
Hey, you're meant to call me by my name now. Asterion plucks a few grapes from the fruit bowl and giggles.
A must, a should I, or must I then? And what if none compel me, call you such except myself? perhaps the 9 as well. To call a spade a spade. Oh, master, good. 1, I am free to disregard. Another is a command I cannot ignore. What will it be?
You made me promise, you cheeky rascal. Isn't your word binding? Binding and absolute? Asterion's smile cracks wider. He scratches his cheek into munching on a mouthful of words.
It's much to say and more to do for us from day to day, and times appear which halt the opportunity for much to say. However, now the muses call your name. Another poem for my gracious friend.
You really are on a roll today, huh? But there's no squirming out of view, you promised.
That is true. Then it's another command or suggestion. For a promise is an order placed on oneself. And for being on a roll, I find myself enjoying the idea that my poetry makes you happy. Oh, just saying that makes me. It's embarrassing to admit it. It is, however, the truth.
He hesitates, a red showing through the fur on his cheeks and blooming across his snout. And then,
I recall you invited me to hug you, if I ever so desired, and I extended the same offer to you. But we've solemn made use of that. Would it bring you comfort if, going forward, if I took you up on your invitation?
Of course, all the fuzz makes hugging you very relaxing.
Oh, likewise. I don't mean to say you have fuzz. Hugging you, it calms me down a great deal before the concert.
You did seem very tense back then. I'm glad it helped, but if I'm being honest, it was quite enjoyable for me as well.
In that case, would it be acceptable if I...
Aww. You open your arms for the step-wide Minotaur. Asterion's embrace is soft, like the waves as they lap one's feet on the beach. His breathing follows the sea's rhythm, made all the more evident by how much he smells like salt water. You lay your head on his chest and enjoy his heartbeat, as peaceful as the sky is blue. Enveloped as you are by his arms, the undertones of his scent become clearer. There's a dusty aspect to it, but as you become accustomed, you notice even more. He smells like rich, life-bearing earth after a light rain when the sun breaks through and warms the water into vapor. Hidden still, there's an odor harder to pin down, similar but not identical to the others. It's the mist rising from the meeting of a river water with the sea. On top of it all, there's an all too human scent, the comforting smell of skin, like the one left on a pillow and bedsheets after years of use, as well as the proud, not unpleasant bitterness of the most virile man. Asterion nuzzles his nose on the top of your head. His breathing comes measured, controlled, although his heartbeat quickens and his hands switch. His tail, however, is relaxed. Through his finely curved fingers, a grunt, or perhaps a whimper, escapes, making more of a giggle to follow. Finger by finger, the two of you disengaged. At the end, your arms graze together and hesitate before growing further apart. What a good way to start a day. I'm glad you're feeling well. I thought for a moment Clement's letter would sour your mood for a while longer.
It has been weighing in my mind, as of late. But our conversation last night made me feel better, even if I know not quite what to think yet. I'm trying not to let it overtake me, Mr. Josh. Your kindness is welcome, but I would prefer not to be overbearing with emotions. But that is not the topic I wanted to discuss today. Is there anything else I could do to bring you comfort, Mr. Josh?
I'm not sure. The brushing from yesterday got me in a good mood.
Is that the case? There's another thing I was meaning to bring up with you. I am afraid it will sound odd, but I hope not too much so.
Don't be shy. I'm sure it's fine.
Only that there are a few things I used to wear, and I'm not sure how they may be received nowadays.
For a
while, I had my horns engraved. Do you think that'd be appropriate?
I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be.
And how about a nose ring?
Well, that'd be a bit on the punk side of things, I'll admit. The Minotaur's expression is blank, but open at the word. He raises his eyebrows. Oh, right. There's a subculture that started up in the late 20th century. It's all about anarchy and unleashing lashing out against authority, and piercings are a big part of that fashion. Although, given that you're a Minotaur, I wouldn't be surprised if people associated you wearing a nose ring more with, well, cattle.
I suppose that is to be expected. I have heard comments along those lines before. I wasn't too bothered by it. It would be different had I been forced to wear a nose ring by the masters, but I started back in Crete. It was a gift from my father. He gave me a golden bracelet when I was a boy. When I outgrew it, I had my nose pierced and, after some tinkering, used it as a ring. During my stay in Hades, I kept wearing it, and did so over my years here, whenever the masters would allow it.
Are you asking me if I'll allow you?
No, not quite. I know you'll let me, but I want to know if you think I would look presentable with it.
I can take a look, sure. But will you have to pierce your septum?
Not at all. In fact, neither will we have to make a new ring. I kept my old one safely stored in my room.
Okay, let me see how you look, and I'll tell you what I think.
Thank you.
I'll let him have it for now. There, nose ring does look pretty good on you now, actually.
Thank you. I didn't want to boast too much, but I've always liked how it looks on me.
How does it feel? The Minotaur puts a hand over his nose and gingerly raises the ring. He runs his thumb over the inside, then lets it fall down.
It feels odd after so long without it, but it's comforting too. I used to toy with it whenever I was anxious, and I've grown to enjoy how it tickles me.
Well, you look good with it. Everyone will be jealous of you now.
Somehow I doubt that'll be the case.
Oh, you're wrong on that one, buddy. Owner of a supernatural hotel and handsome. What's not to envy?
I suppose you're right. if one adds the fine company I surround myself with. Now, shall we go?
And with that, the two of you set out for a new day. Okay. I think I'll end the part here for now. I'll see you all around.